Alright, we have a hand that can evolve turn 3. Buka. Buka. Wetka. 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 Can I win a Pro Tour for us again? I'll do my best, but it's a question of whether my best can get me there. We'll see. Volcanic Fissure into Striked Ridge, so that's some kind of a Belcher deck. Hedge Maze. Let's find a green source. Don't want an Atraxa. Ouch. Well, that is a source of mana. But should I still play Hallowed Fountain? I think so. Then maybe I can play Disciple of Freyalise next turn. Hades. I've heard that Hades 2 actually released. Is that true, chat? A few days ago. Not yet? Okay. Blood Moon, ty skurwysynu. Ty śmieciu. Ty podły szczurze. No, I meant like released for real, because Hades 2 was in early access and then it kinda, I don't know if it released for real or not. You could argue that if a game is out in early access, it already released as well. Can I do anything about Moon? I guess I can fetch a forest and, well, draw a forest and Boseiju it. Besides that, I can draw a forest and play Birthing Ritual. So I'll summon Allosaurus and just attack my opponent before they belch me. Ruby Medallion. To kurwista karta. Turudu. Mana Morphos for 1 mana. That produces mana. That's OP. Valakut Awakening. Well, that's a good sign, but also my opponent draws 5 new cards. 3 new cards. And it might be challenging. Desperate Ritual. Land. Ironcrack Feet. Okay, Belcheros. Or Stormcow's Sean. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's many Seans. I concede the game. So we need to fetch Forest. Probably want to play Force of Vigor as well. Colossal Skyturtle role in the sideboard is unclear to me, frankly. I guess just as a way to have a pactable bounce spell, which seems unnecessary. Why would I fair Neoform when it loses to unfair decks? Well, I lost to Blood Moon, frankly, which is a bit different, right? We're gonna board out Ureni. Seems weak. Terastodon seems great. It's kind of what all we do with Terastodon. And draw Force of Vigors. We can board out Planar Genesis. Can bring in an extra Consign to counter a Belcher or a Storm Trigger. It actually seems pretty incredible, frankly. And we can perhaps trim down single Ghalta, because we don't need many monsters in play. To beat their deck, I think. here we have a Force of Vigor and a Forest. And we do technically have an Allosaurus Rider for the ability to summon Griselbrand. I would need to surveil into an evolution effect and then get a bit more lucky. Let's say I do keep this hand though. I think between all of the factors and between having access to Prosperity, Force of Vigor, it's an alright keep. Not interested in Windswept Heath. Not really into drawing an Atraxa Grand Unifier either. So far we are chilling, but with 11 evolutions in the deck, I am bound to draw one soon. I could kill the medallion and the treasure. Let's do it. Perhaps I should Orim's Chant my opponent as well. Maybe I should do that. Bar against Moon, but he can Orim's Chant in response to Ironcrag Feet, for example. Alright, we are doing the thing. Or a thing. It's giga risky. There's good chance I die to my Pact. I don't know if I actually should. But death is pretty funny. Is it? So there's 2 Atraxas in my deck and 1 Griselbrand, so really there's 3 hits. So if I mean, what are the odds? What are the odds, but for real, unironically? We look at 48 cards and I have 3 successes. Then I am 38% to hit. That is really bad. I think I should wait. Ghalta counts too, right? It does not, because I would have to exile my Atraxa. So we'll try next turn, and next turn if I draw a green card, then Ghalta counts as well. And if I draw a land, I can pay for the Pact. So it's fine if I fail. And if I draw Consign, that also solves itself. So I think literally every non-Griselbrand draw step works. We'll see. Because I can also just put the Disable Freyalise into play as a land. Let's do that. Or I could grab Hooting Mandrills, but that doesn't seem all that good. Also, I need to hit an 8-drop. Specifically, if I hit anything else, it doesn't work. I can't put Atraxa into play now. It's actually 1+ sacrifice creature's mana value. But we did hit Griselbrand. So better lucky than good. Two consigns. That should help me survive. Up to X+1? No, it's not up to. We put a creature card with mana value X or less. Okay, it is. It's fine. I only focus on the other part, where X is the 1+, but it's X or less. Fine. Mandrills allowed to keep Atraxa in hand. Yeah. Mandrills was better then. I did not know how it all works, but now I do. So better lucky than good. It was a challenging turn to navigate through, but we got there. Why does the art turn an Arboreal Grazer into a Nullhide Ferox when they are 3 mana apart? Bro, what you say is so true. Yeah, Mandrills wouldn't hit the Grizzle, so actually it would be worse. Oh, kurwa. Destroy my land. Sure. We can consign the Pact. How about you fairly shove a dick up your butt? Whoa. Sure? Is there a Ghalta still in my deck? Really bad to summon Ghalta, frankly. No, it is because it's good because I kill freelance. Yeah, opponent's playing mono red Belcher. Kill your lands. Okay. Atraxa. Grand Unifier. I grab Boseiju. Really, I had nothing. Boseiju is enough then. We can sacrifice the Terastodon. Grand Onion Fryer. That's so funny. So I want to draw my Force of Vigor to upkeep Kill Their Treasure. And I also want to keep up a Gemstone Mine. Do I have a second Force of Vigor? I do, right? Oh, I have it in my hand already. Then I don't want to sacrifice anything anymore. At the beginning of your end step, if you control a creature. Whoa, we control a creature. Alright, so upon familiarizing myself with how my deck functions a little bit more, I am going to keep the third Ghalta in the deck in order to actually function better. And I guess Birthing Ritual is kinda bad in a fast matchup then. I think I should also fit Orim's Chant somehow into the deck, because my opponent is playing a combo deck. I want to pass with Orim's Chant up and chant them, because I don't win a game in one turn. I take a longer time to do that. So I don't know how do I do that, frankly. So I'll just submit 63 because I don't know what to cut, and I feel like if I cut cards I might just make my deck worse by upsetting the ratios of cards. So yeah, I'll keep this. How will you beat 3 elephants? Those things are huge. Well put. It is kind of wild that an elephant in terms of Magic the Gathering card sizing is just a 3/3. So it's just so tiny. But IRL an elephant at least a 4/4 or 5/5. And bros, don't even get me started. Like Emrakul would die to 15 squirrels, Lamao. That's crazy, right? 15 squirrels versus Emrakul. Don't think it matters which fetch I play, so I'll play Windswept Heath because I just didn't actually decide. It was the same. And hopefully my opponent doesn't play a Blood Moon. Magic the Gathering solves the question of 100 men, soldier token, 1/1 versus 1 gorilla, Silverback Elder 5/7. How about Consign this? Then my opponent is gonna have fewer cards in hand. Because next turn I can't Consign, right? So I think it's good. I think they're just gonna have fewer resources. They play Bitter Reunion because they play Storm Scale Scion. The dragon with Storm, which is much stronger when hasted. Maybe it was a mistake to Consign. Maybe I let this happen and I keep Consign in my hand. That way I can Summon Rider, Neoform it, Pact twice, and get a Disciple of Freyalise and Atraxa. Maybe I still do that. Maybe I underestimated what I can do. I could get Griselbrand. That's simpler and kind of the same. But I think I draw fewer cards that way. For Force of Vigor. Oh, Terastodon. Yeah, Terastodon. That's what I meant. Can you survive Devil Pack next upkeep? Only if I draw Consign. But I spend my Consign thinking that it's not good to keep it. But it was actually good to keep it. And then do the line. Damn. We are learning, chat. Or maybe it's Teras. No, Atraxa is weaker. Is better. It looks at 10 cards. No, Atraxa is weaker. You want to actually get the Disciple of Freyalise, sacrifice Ghalta, and get 12 draws. So in 50 cards, I need to find one of my 2 consigns, which means that I would want to hit out of 50 or 49 even. I want to hit 1 out of 2 cards in 12 looks. So I'm 43% to succeed. So I think the better way to do it is just to Griselbrand now. But it is a shame that I spent my consign like this. I shouldn't have done that. Did not think it through properly at first. And I guess I'll draw in the Unkeep for Force of Vigor on their treasure. Probably should draw twice. Found Consign, so I think I should draw twice. If my opponent kills me somehow, I will take it and die. Okay. This deck needs some planning ahead. Baltic Viape, that would be horrible. Nitox, thank you very much for the raid. Welcome, Nitox viewers. Red, hoping it's a bitter union. Top lands. Alright, I don't think a top land is gonna do it. Broski. Stroked Rich, okay. Hit you. Play Gemstone. Your deck seems like it would very much enjoy the first town card from the upcoming set. Is that the triple Painland? Or was it a different card? But the triple Painland makes no sense, so in this deck, so that would be a surprising suggestion. You can Pact for something for the lulz. I probably shouldn't, but should be alright. Kill your got key. Boseiju. Those were just my cats having fun. No second Ghalta for Atraxa reroll. I could do that, yeah, that's true. Oh, didn't even play my cards. Sad. Can I do a deck tech again? You missed it. Well, the deck tech was pretty bare bones as I ended up seemingly not understanding parts of my deck. But basically we are summoning a big monster and then drawing most of our deck and summoning more big monsters. Interesting attack. I guess you'll need to try. Excuse me? Oh, target. I was like, is there no option to target this? So it seems like we have defeated Mono-Red Belcher Storm. Good, good. By going up to 63 cards. But during this match I have learned that summoning Ghalta, if you have anything in hand, should be pretty good because you can put a lot of monsters into play. Especially if you have one Ghalta and then you can summon a second one and then you have the Disciple of Freyalise to sacrifice it still. You look at 12 more cards and you put just everything into play. So you draw really almost all of your deck. It feels like the postboard orange chant looks pretty good. You just need to be aware of having extra mana to cast stuff, but let's keep. So the white splashes for Eladamri's Call and Orim's Cant in my deck. Only those two cards. I don't really need white mana. Don't necessarily need to fetch it super proactively. Turn 2 all in. Yeah, I don't know if I'll have the balls, but I could. Seems like Belcher. Could land Destruct. Let's get Hallowed Fountain. That way I can save this to grab a silver land later. No, that doesn't make much sense. Let's kill the land. Yeah, mono Belcher meta, I guess. We played against Belcher and now we play against Belcher again. Getting to be on the play and getting to Boseiju, my opponent's suppression field, is quite nice. Eldritch Evolution. So they don't have many counters now, actually. Disrupting Shoal, X3, that only works with Weir and Flare. So it works pretty often if they have Disrupting Shoal. But having a monster and Tameshi, yeah, so it actually works with plenty of stuff. Probably the easiest mana value to counter. So it's a tough decision. I don't know what to do here. Let's say we play it a bit slow. And I'll just play the Birching Ritual and I'll summon an Allosaurus next turn. I'll have full end, so I will be able to Pact at this point. But of course getting countered. Getting my Allosaurus countered, horrible. Not much I can do about that. Neoform, that's a green card, so that works. I can also fetch Mandrills. One green mana. I have 2 green lands to pay for my pact, if that's what you mean. So I'll summon the Mandrill now. Could get Warrior disrupted, would be a shame, but... Wow. That's not the spell you wanted to counter, my friend. I still have to get the Mandrill. Which means I'm probably kinda quite dead, but... Mandrills can't produce a... Terastodon. Harbinger, they could bring it, but it doesn't do all that much. I have a forest in my deck, then I have blue and green mana, so that's alright. Orderly Plaza, Word of Intervention. Tameshi. Dobra, i co dalej? Nothing? That's crazy. I mean, I don't think I can win if my opponent has a Belcher in their hand. In any way, shape or form. Because I don't think there's anything for me to find that would solve that. Also, I did not find anything, so... Semnej ma skrętkę bez niczego w łapie. No to nie wiem, czy ma akurat, ale... Niech pokaże. The blue Belcher deck seems way better than the red Belcher deck, if you ask me. No way. No, it actually is. It's way better. Wiruwa. No dobra, no to masz zwycięstwo, kolego. Pokadeka. So I cannot look at it all that thoroughly anyways, and we can move to game 2. Into the Floodmaw main deck. What a crazy metagame choice by my opponent. Snapback. Alright. Stern Scolding. Ooh, wow. Might be important to play a land before playing the Allosaurus Rider in some spots then. So no Force of Negation, right? Which might come from the sideboard anyways. He plays Serap's List. Holy shit, that tells me nothing. Oh, Serap's. Alright, that tells me more. But also I don't know what's his list exactly. We'll bring Consigns and Wheel of Shamer. Will I bring Force of Vigor? I already have the Boseijus. Killing the Belcher in the upkeep doesn't do anything, so it's never gonna matter. Ureni leaves the deck. We want Koma to make 4 free blue serpent creature tokens named Koma's Coil, maybe, but also probably not. Pact is pretty rough into blue decks. Should I trim it? Chant good. I don't really think so. I mean, we can use it to push our spells through, but the aggressive use against Belcher is pretty bad. Counters Bloom. Well, perhaps. That's kind of little. You can play one chant. I don't like chant. No, I don't like it. Although one is fine. 61st card chant. Might be good in spots. Spots that might come up. Or might not come up. Well, turn 2. Ghalta into Terastodon plus Griselbrand. If we draw a green card. Are we the beatdown? Well, we'll see. I think this game I will beat my opponent down indeed. Graveyard the Hallowed Fountain. Draw a Gemstone Mine. I know Terastodon, but should be good enough to just Ghalta and have 19 power. It's actually 20 power. Ghalta gets a +1/+1 counter, so we have exactly 20. So yeah, I think this game we are pretty much the beatdown. We'll see about game 2 when my opponent gets to summon a monster on turn 2 and hold up a flare early. Hello Kani, how is this pile treating you? It's incredible. Intense. Incredibly powerful. Maybe I do want more chance. I cut the Birthing Ritual because it feels kinda the worst. And like going out of your way to protect yourself when trying to resolve a Birthing Ritual, only not to hit a monster anyways, that sucks. That's a great question, so many dynamos. You should ask it to somebody else though. Because I don't know. Actually, I do know that it doesn't, but you should pester Maro or the rules manager. Remember the Dredge's Inside debate? To this day, we don't really know. Hashbringer stops Dredge's Inside or not. Actually, we do know it does, but nobody wants to accept that. Is the whole league just Belcher? So far, yes, but I only played 2 games. 3 games, 4 games so far, 5 games in the first 2 matches. Could consign the Falagi. How good is that? Feels not good. Hopefully I get to Survel into the graveyard easily. Allosaurus Rider, there's no way I can have resources to cast that. I am actually looking for a Veil of Summer or Orimskant. Instead I draw Atraxa, which is not great. So the reason to consign was to be able to summon Hooting Mandrills. You would have kept Rider, and that would be a grievous mistake. I think there is no way Rider does anything for you this game. Let's keep the consign for Belcher. Because we multi 5, I just don't have cards in hand, and there's so many cards I need for the Rider that it's just not plausible to use it. And here I can just have, I'm just a Veil of Summer away from playing a protected Mandrills with protected Neoform. But given that I have no protection, but they also picked up Storm, it is unwise to go for Neoform now. Consign to counter Storm's Storm Trigger might be something that happens this game. Tameshi. Siedzi. No white mana at least. Really bad play to not double block here. Just letting 1 trample damage happen for free. If I Neoform, my opponent needs to flare. Could also wait for Veil. Summon a Rider, a 5/5. And just have a 4/4 and a 5/5. 2 turns keeping 1 mana has Snare for sure. Well, I don't know about Snare, but my opponent picked up a Storm with Falagio. The additional cost part of Neoform, I guess it makes it worse than Birthing Ritual in those spots. Last turn just play untapped land for keeping the mana. Yes, they have a Storm that they picked up with Falagi Archaeologist, my friend. That is what my opponent has. I mean, white mana is not easy for them to get to. If they get to white mana, then the Consign still can stop them. Well, not quite, the Belcher will kill me. But knowing about a card like that, I mean, they can just wear. Sure. But wear for Bloom only for now. Wear for Belcher is don't have mana. Alright, let's Allosaurus Rider. Well, they wear for Bloom, then they are not wearing for Belcher, chat. But I understand that you can think in like 1 card sequences, but anything longer than that is too much to properly discuss through the medium of Twitch chat. Yes, if my opponent has 5 cards that are threatening, they will overcome my single card that's not so threatening, indeed. I fully agree with you, chat. Four mana, +2/+2, which is a significant amount of mana. And they can also cast spells like Flare Plus. Alright, I guess they're not countering the Belcher. Did they play a land this turn already? I don't think so. They did not. Alright, so they have enough to summon the Belcher. Or summon another one from hand and just kill me. So that seems like perhaps a bit of a challenging matchup because I don't know how we stop them from exactly not countering all of my spells. Let's keep. Oh yeah, the mountain. I forgot. Never scoop against Belcher, chat, if you play a Boseiju deck. So my hand right now needs a blue mana or any third land, and then we're gonna be alright. Gardens of Freyalise. And let's go. Opponent's name is NeoMani, which you might think they would be playing Neoform, but it is not the case. They're just playing a plain old Eldrazi deck. There's probably not much downside to playing a Rider now, so I can get an attack next turn, but... Oh no, am I gonna get Miko spawned on turn 3 while holding a main deck consigned to memory in hand? That's a shame. Still, a blue land will allow me to Neoform into a probably Ghalta. Dupa kurwa, se zneoformuje. Dawaj, Devaurera. Viego. Rydra. Sephiroth in hand. An actual magic card. Quite soon. They spoiled Sephiroth's card and it's some kind of a not so great monster. So I guess the dreams of Sephiroth control being tier 1 are gone. It flips though, true. Well, at least there is not gonna be a Sephiroth control deck because that is not a control card. One can pick up Emrakul and cast it, so I would lose to that. Do we want Koma against Eldrazi? Seems better than Ureni. I think the answer is probably not, so I'll board it in for science. Do I want Force of Vigor against Eldrazi? I doubt it. Do I want Endurance to clear their graveyard for Emrakul purposes? Maybe. Let's trim 2 calls and board in the Endurance. It might be actually important in some spots. Could also have a chant for that. I mean, Terastodon should do most of what I need. Just kill 3 lands, so I probably don't need the Endurance, but we'll see. I'll be on the play. And this hand is pretty similar. Pretty similar situation, mana-wise. Missing green. Or rather blue. But we'll see. Mycospawn is such a feels bad to play against, similar to Grief. I hope they ban it for the same reasons. That's Bantok. But also, sure, buddy. Opponent exiled 8 cards of the top. They were not interested in Eugene's Labyrinth, Sanctum of Eugen, Devourer of Destiny. Nice Ghost Quarter, bro. I think they misjudged my deck as being a landless. What they didn't know is that I actually had lands in it. But they just didn't want any of those cards. Soulless Jailer as well, does that stop my combo? It doesn't. Let's go. Should I? Griselbrand? Ghalta. You think you would like to play one Springleaf Drum? Why? To get to Pact mana, I guess, is your explanation, but imagine if Ritter was a dragon. For Omoxen, yeah. Well, it still would be rough, I guess. I mean, Griselbrand is a legendary, so you like we used to play Moxamber in Neoform. Seems like it's Griselbrand to me. We hit a Consign. No point in drawing more. Unless I hit a Ghalta. Look at the cards. There was a Terastodon in there. I probably should just Terastodon now. Actually, we can still Terastodon. And it's more fun. I would lose to a second Ghost Quarter, but there's no way they play that. Kill your land. You get an elephant. Ghalta is a funny card. You just... put everything from your hand into play. Kind of a crazy ability, isn't it? Clicked on a Boseiju. Too bad. That's my hand. So I have to counter 2 Pacts with Consign. Oh no, they're gonna Bojuka Bog me? That's too much, man. No, they Bojuka Bog. Counter, counter. Attack you with my crew of monsters. The endurance seems absolutely unnecessary. Let's have the extra Eladamri skull to actually be able to find my Allosaurus Rider. I don't understand why is there an extra birthing ritual in the sideboard, but maybe with enough experience I would understand. The energy matchup has to be 70-30. Can't wait to play against energy and horribly lose to Ocelot Pride. Did I cast a planar spell yet? Not a single time. I boarded it out every time. Seems the worst. Like the worst card in my deck. Devourer? I barely knew her. Energy move 69-31. That's a good one. Jest myszka. Dobra, mamy. The Exiled Utopia Sprawl, Talisman of Impulse, and Kozilek's Commando. Isn't there like one big creature that gives everything else haste? Well, maybe. Oh no. Ureni is in the main deck. It's for being is indestructible by white and black spells. Unifier. Great combo with Disruptor Flute. They milled over the Trinisphere and they grabbed Trinisphere. Makes sense. I mean, I can cast a Rider next turn still through the Trinisphere and then I can evolve it. Why not cast it last turn? Because it's named by Disruptor Flute. Which makes it cost 3 more mana, which I currently didn't have. But now I do. And Trinisphere plus Flute. Flute makes my rider cost 3 mana, and then Trinisphere makes it cost at least 3 mana. So overall, great combo. Wall Breaker. But I barely knew her. Also, Akinoji, thank you very much for the sub. They chose Talisman of Impulse and they played out a Cavern. How is your Lantern control matchup? Bad if they lead on Grabdigger's Cage. Really bad. -1 damage, I guess. Is it Griselbrand? With Trinisphere in play, I'm not so sure. Might just be Ghalta. So that I have lethal next turn. Boseiju. I don't know. Disciple. I think hitting the Eugen's Labyrinth might be relevant because it makes it harder for my opponent to summon a Devourer of Destiny next turn, which is their probably best play. The Trinisphere doesn't matter anymore. I have a Talisman of Impulse in hand and one unknown card. Ghalta Stamp. This is funny. They should make a post stamp, which is just Ghalta, and then it will be called Ghalta stamp. Really humorous. Opponent sifting through their options, yet there is none. Nice Eldrazi deck. Maybe that definition could use some reworking, but here on turn 2 we can do some nice stuff. Prismatic Vista. Hedge Maze. Don't care for an Eldritch Evolution. Belcher is a ramp deck? I guess it is. It ramps to 7 mana to belch you. Swamp. Nethergoyf. Saga. Cool. No challenge today, broskis. Today is a challengeless stream. I think I just get Ghalta. Did I play the RCQ yesterday? Yeah, I won it. It was an RCQ in Wrocław. 28 gamers. I won it. With Titan. The finals was a Titan mirror. Could summon another rider. I don't think that's actually good, so I will not. Funny thing, I would die to a Field of Ruin or Ghost Quarter. How many mirrors did I win? Just one. I only played one. Alright, I had to replace my mouse battery. Where can you find my latest list? Typically it's on my Mox field. There's always gonna be the newest list posted there, so that's a great place to check out. And alternatively, it's gonna be on my Twitter or on my Discord. So the RCQ I won with pretty normal list. Played 2 Force of Vigor because there was supposed to be 4 or 5 Amulet gamers, and there actually were, so was solid. This seems like a Koma matchup. Not necessarily like a Terastodon matchup. Maybe let's cut Terastodon. Maybe that's gonna be wrong, but you might also play Veil of Summer against discard spells, which my opponent for sure runs, and probably they'll run some loots or stuff like that. You can probably cut Pacts, really. Yeah, that seems alright. After Surgicals against Mill, all I had left was 6 and an Analyst. I was able to make infinite Analysts and give them haste. Awesome. Oh no, Seal against Energy, that's a horrible idea. I wouldn't recommend that at all. It's for Harbinger alongside 6, and I've been thinking it might work decently well against Prowess, because Prowess tries to kill you with combat tricks, but that is yet to be determined. I'm not convinced that is the case. But that's why I played the seals, because I thought it might be alright, and I did not play against prowess, so I never learned. Maybe I should have Force of Vigor against opponent's deck, given that they are a Saga deck. Here I think we pact for a land and just go for it. Four needle and a dumping sphere? Well, those are four needle is a decent. I mean, it's a reason to bring it. Is it possible that my opponent plays Bowmeister? Actually. Lol. Really? You played it? That seems crazy. I guess what is crazy is that I have to draw more. To find my consign. Which I did. And I could die to a fetal push now. Lose versus removal spell is insane. What would be insane is losing to my Summoner's Pact to not join Consign. Still I want... Oh, it doesn't check my graveyard. So yeah, that would be insane, Alp, to just simply die to that. I cast a second Bobo Master. So if I don't activate my... Okay, we lose to that. If I don't activate the Griselbrand, I do lose as well, so... What is your point, my friend? Let's cut more pacts, given that it's extremely weak. Let's play Birthing Ritual, which seems alright against discard spells. Maybe I should cut Griselbrand. But I mean, I can also just not use it if there is a Bowmeister or have a Veil of Summer. Maybe I can cut Consign if I cut Pact entirely. Yeah, that's looking alright against a discard spell. Resource Daniel deck. We have Ureni, Griselbrand, Atraxa. Maybe I want a Force of Vigor. Or the Endurance as an extra blocker. Let's have the Endurance. What a hand. Seems weak. What a hand. Seems alright. You lost to Pact Trigger in the top 8 of Saturday's RCQ. That's a crazy story. Why did you do that? I'm almost playing 3 packs in Titan now because there is actually little downside to them. But not quite mentally ready for that. No I dupa. You're playing 3? Alright, so if you play the third one you lose to the Pact more often. Makes sense, I guess. If you play it more often you will lose to it more often, probably. No nie. If I cast it now and villain discard spells, I will be so sad. I drew a Hallowed Fountain of the top anyways. No i kurwa dupa, no. The least lucky game of Magic the Gathering that has ever happened. Right in front of your eyes, chat. 2 Thoughtseize. Oh no. Arguably, you could say it was well played by opponent, but I'm not gonna claim that. But this went so badly after they played a needle with barely any text. Emperor of Boners. Sure, at least there is only Allosaurus Rider in my graveyard and not something crazy. Can you perma-ban me from your chat, Piotr? Add me to your ban list. Why? Maybe I should have summoned the Allosaurus Rider instantly. You tried 2 versions of the specific NeoBrand deck, and I preferred the one with no pacts and 4 tangles. Frankly, maybe it makes sense. I think it kind of makes sense, yeah. To have the tangles and the to play turn 1 2-drop still. Because the Pact is like a little bit challenging. I think we are getting Ghalta. Which Ghalta? No, because we get Ghalta. And I put Atraxa, Ghalta, and then I grab another big creature of Atraxa. So I didn't want to pitch Ghalta. So we resolve Atraxa first, and I grab whatever, Griselbrand. Shoot the Sheriff, that's such a horrible timing. We can grab another Atraxa now. They can Emperor Ghalta now. So what? We can grab Ureni and kill the Emperor. Or Koma and die. Ureni with 2 lands is pretty funny, but it's good enough here. A land into another Emperor would be challenging. No nie, ty cwaniaku. Why is there a waste on the battlefield? Because my opponent chose to play that card. I think I made a mistake. I grabbed a Neoform instead of grabbing another Evolution, and Evolution was way better because I can evolve Ghalta into something useful. But I can't evolve Ghalta into anything now with Neoform because it had to be Evolution. Neoform is exactly 1+, and Evolution is any mana cost. So if they Ghalta, we have to trade Ghaltas, which actually puts me in a tough spot. But to explain the wastes a bit more, my opponent also played Prismatic Vista and Eldrazi Temple. So it kinda combines into a pretty coherent picture of what they're trying to do. Isn't that a spike deck? Assuredly it is. So your opponent, I guess, making their decision here. I guess I live. I live with either Endurance or Hooting Mandrills. Is one better than the other? Guess shoot the sheriff. Seems better to have Endurance. Which they showed that they have shoot the sheriff in their deck against something like a Kozilek's command. It's better to Mandrills against. So they're probably gonna have more Kozilek's command and they have shoot the sheriffs left. Doesn't Endurance shrink they go if. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, but like I just spent mana on this call, right, chat? I can't cast the Endurance, I can pitch it only. So both Endurance and Mandrills reduce Nethergoyf's damage to 0 by either shrinking it or blocking it, which lets me survive at 1 life. So I'm just thinking which corner case is more likely to happen. And I think an instant Kozilek's command is more likely to happen. Hit them for 10 with Ureni. And hope my opponent doesn't rip an answer to my Mandrillos. Or a Bowmaster, I guess. Was my first impression of Dom's Brew. It feels like a pretty real deck. Which is a lot for a Neoform deck, right? Play to your outs. Yeah, just got to figure out which outs are the ones that are more likely to happen. That was not clear to me. But we did certainly try to play towards the outs. We got there. My opponent Ureni Weske. Successfully. 3-1. Lost to Belcher. Seems like a bad matchup. Hand seems alright. This is a Zoo deck or a 4-color Leyline Binding deck. A rare breed nowadays, but perhaps opponent is one of the few remaining players of that archetype. Orkish Bowmeister. Is it simply Ureni here? Because Griselbrand is bad. Could split the damage the other way around. But Ureni seems like they can't really beat it, right? Unremovable. So if it's Zoo, they're playing. Let's bring in Koma over Terastodon. Maybe cut Griselbrand against an Orkish Bowmeister deck. It's kind of a bad matchup. Add an extra Berting Ritual. And then what? Force of Vigor. I don't think so. Maybe a few Veil of Summers against counter magic. Stubborn Denial could definitely be a thing. Prism and Leyline. The thing about Leyline is that it doesn't matter. So why would I waste mana and cards? Well, I guess only cards, no mana. Why would I discard cards to kill my opponent's Leyline, which basically doesn't do anything? Oh, Ragavan. Windswept Heath is gone. What if Krashko is actually Durset? That would be wild. Why spend a treasure? I guess want to keep up. Stubborn Denial? No? Want to fetch a land, alright, that's fine. Zoo is such a wild deck. Play 5 colors for no upside. Puzzling, really. I guess I technically lived. Oh no, my mandrills. I guess I don't live. Fast Strike, Vigilance, Flash. Whoa. Ragavan seems solid. I want an extra Boseiju. Want to cut consigns. For the Veils, 4 Veil is a lot. Maybe 1 Force of Vigor. If we cut the Pacts. Seems good to cut the Pacts, to be able to cut the Pacts, but I would prefer to have Preordain in the deck. In that scenario. No, let's have Griselbrand instead. More lifelinkers. I like that this deck addresses the most boring aspect of the combo Neoform deck. The discussion on what to win with. It does so by playing 10 shit cards that don't win instead. Such as Consign counters Leyline Binding. Holy fucking shit, that changes everything. I mean, they do win. I think it's easier to argue that it's the regular win-con cards that don't win, the Mox Amber Sorin or all of the weird variants that people have played throughout the years. Just could not take another Gutshot Loop discussion. I mean, that's weird. I thought you like combo, Barczyk. I thought that's your jam. I thought that's a thing you enjoy. Yet, you can't take a Gutshot Loop discussion? That's crazy. Don't have time for that. Yeah, Griselbrand. Worldspine Wound cleanup loop, that's awesome. Play tap land, they tapped Steam Vents, really. What's your hand, bro? Seems even worse than mine. Please let me cycle one of my Veil of Summers. You like a second Hooting Mandrills in the sideboard? Sure. Sounds like a great sideboard card for the grindy matchups. What do you like about it? Oh, no more Surveils. Come on, play Bowmeister. No. If my opponent plays a land and plays 2 Tribal Flames, I'll cry. Strion. Nice way to tap. Nice draw. I don't think I play out the Rider. I just have to hope my opponent is on mono leyline bindings. I felt like I didn't need to insta-scoop to a Allosaurus getting removed countered. Plus I liked not exiling to Pleiad. Yeah, well I wasn't being ironic, it does sound like a good sideboard card. I Orim's Chant, no nieźle. I Tribal Flames, niezłe combo. As I said, I definitely would enjoy getting to run preorders. Especially over the Planar Genesis. You'd spend turn 1 on surveilling anyways, but preordaining is... it's better than surveilling, you see more cards.